Hi, this is Dana Sardano and my girl Steffi Star.
Hola.
Here at Ubuntu Fish Gallery. We have not filmed in quite some time.
It's been a bit.
It's been at least a month, right?
Yeah,
because,
at least.
Yeah, because Steffi shows up and we start talking and then we run out of steam and we're like, all right, screw it, let's do it next week. So here we are. I'm in the midst of full hair growth. I have to point it out because if you watch the last video when I'm all high and tight and now I look like Matthew McConaughey, I don't know.
Owen Wilson.
Oh my God, yeah. So I just want you to know that I know that you know that I know that it looks like this. And yes, so I just had to point that out. So we're here on the love seat at Ubuntu Fish Gallery. If you haven't ever seen any video prior to this one, Ubuntu Fish Gallery is an artist gallery and intuitive lounge that is in Stuart, Florida, that basically it's exactly what I said it is. It merges the two. It merges creativity and intuition because in turn they grow in tandem. And we have a beautiful group of unicorns here doing magical things. And if you're in the area or plan on coming to the area, please come and visit. With that said, I'd like to introduce my girl, Steffi Star. She is amazing and does really cool things, and she's going to tell you about it.
Thank you, Dana, my amazing sister and friend for sure. By the way, our links are in the description, so if you want to know more about Ubuntu Fish Gallery or more about what I do, definitely drop down, click the description, and visit our websites. I am a spirit plant facilitator. I take the molecules that exist in nature and help people access aspects of self that are not readily available to the conscious thinking mind, or superconscious, and our subconscious actually is the terrain which I am honored and humbled to assist people in navigating. So that's what I do. And today I wanted to come to you with a topic. We are now a good 5-6 months into the COVID pandemic. We are just getting children back to school, kind of are, kind of not, right? Sorry, not sorry. And I don't even know what I'm going to say today, to be quite frank. Dana and I made a commitment with one another that these would be just conversations between two friends, not preachy. We're not trying to tell you what to do. We're not here to give you any deep insight outside of whatever
advice.
Yeah, no, it's just the two of us having being who we are, having our life experience and sharing that experience with whomever it is that's viewing this. And today for me, the word from the moment I realized I was coming down here to tape, and again, we haven't taped in a while, was connection. So many of us right now feel so separated. We are separated. We're separated along political lines. We're separated over the mask argument. We're separated over whether or not COVID is real or a hoax. We're divided in so many ways. We're obviously too, as well, smack in the middle of the Black Lives Matter movement and the ensuing awareness of how people of color in this country are treated quite differently than white people. And we are separated. We're separated ideologically. We're being separated physically because of the fear of infection. And this is having a profound effect on our mental well-being. It's having a profound effect on the spiritual well-being of many people. And I want to encourage you, because I needed this encouragement. Get out there. Put on a mask. Go see your family. Go see your friends. I have people say to me, I still operate. I do what I do. People still come to me for the work I do. And people say to me, I haven't seen my grandkids in 3 months. I haven't seen my children in 4 months. I haven't been in the same room with dear friends in a long time. We need each other. I deal with spirit molecules. I deal with spirit plants. Many people call those molecules and those plants plant medicine. But what I have learned in my work, what I've learned in my experience as a participant and as a facilitator, is that the medicine is in us. I am the medicine. I am the fracture and I am the cast. I am the disease and I am the cure. We are the medicine. And when we are disconnected from one another, we become disconnected from nature, we become disconnected from our sourceness, we certainly begin to become disconnected from reality. I've had profound experiences with people I know and love who are so burnt out over the division, the separation, the isolation that has been COVID. We have immune systems. We have masks that keep these aerosols from flying out of our mouths for feet around us when we talk. There are ways to protect ourselves, but what we can't protect ourselves from is the deterioration of our spirit, of our heart, when we cannot connect with the people we know and love. And if you don't feel like you can be in a room with your family, although physical contact, hugging someone, holding their hand, touching them, obviously wash afterwards if you need to. But not having that physical contact is really deleterious to our heart and soul, to our spirit and our mind. And I want to encourage you, if nobody else has given you permission, I realize a lot of times most of us are just waiting for somebody to say it's okay to do this. It's okay to see your loved ones. It's okay to go hug somebody that you know or someone that you don't know. Protect yourself by all means. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Stay 6 feet apart if you can, but get back in the same room with the people you know and love. The separation is part of in my humble opinion, a larger wrench in the machine that has an ulterior motive at the end, which is to make us really afraid of one another, to be afraid to be together, to give us severe pause at the idea of reconnecting with one another in the real world, in the 3D world. So I'm just here to say, if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling isolated, if the pressure is mounting and you're overwhelmed, we are the medicine. We need each other. We need each other now more than ever. We need to come together with the people we know and love. We need to come together with people we don't know. We need to come together with people we disagree with. We need to find a way to look somebody in the eye and know that they don't feel the same, but know that they're us. They're us at their heart. There is an energy that put all of us, all of this here, and I am that, and you are that. And we need to reconnect. We need to reconnect with one another on a heart level. We need to reconnect with one another on a soul level. We need to reconnect with one another in the physical world. And we cannot allow these divisions of mind to keep us apart, because they are insidious, they are cancerous, they are destructive. And I see things going in a direction that I'm not a worrier and I don't live in fear, but I don't want to live in the world that's left if we all decide that we can't even be in a room with people we know and love. I don't want to live in that world. So if you need permission, if you're the person today who's just been afraid of doing the wrong thing, afraid of making somebody sick, do what you can do. Put on a mask, make it tight, wash your hands, take your gel or your Four Thieves spray, whatever you need to feel like you can delouse yourself and go be with the people that you need to be with. And that's everybody. We need all of us. I need to be with people I agree with. I need to be with people I don't agree with. So that's kind of what I had to say. That was on my heart today. And I live a very, very connected life. And this isolation has gotten to me. And I know in those moments when it's time to get out the door, Panera is open. Panera Bread allows you to go in and sit inside, unlike some of the other coffee shops. Join a meetup, go to a Panera, go sit with your mask 6 feet away from somebody and have a conversation outside under the fans at a Panera if you need to. But let's start getting back out there. We have to get back out there. We need each other. This is not sustainable with us all separated like this. So I'm going to stop there. Thank you for letting me go on and on about that.
I want to take, basically, when you're talking and I'm listening to you, like all of a sudden I'm going in this direction and then I'm going in this, and I have all these thoughts based on what you're saying. But the direction I want to go in is you're talking about we need to be out there, we need to be connected, we need to be together. We are not meant to be in solitude. We are meant to be in community. But I want to take that another step. So you kind of touched on a little bit of how we're all at odds with each other. do I wear a mask or don't wear a mask? The people who don't wear masks are fighting that, about their freedoms. The people who do wear masks are saying you're unsafe and you're killing my grandma.
Right.
And with everything, there is this opposition. And the connectivity that I think is necessary is we need to start gaining the ability to be in disagreement with somebody and not make them wrong,
the enemy,
or not make them the enemy, right? It's okay. And it's difficult to do because there's such this polarization that we've now become acclimated to the polarization. But the reality is the beauty in who we are and what we are our differences.
See.
So I would like to begin, and I work on it. It's difficult to do. You're wrong, But I would like to begin a movement of just being okay with the other person's opinion. I've been hit over the last couple of months with everything is about perspective. That's constantly the message that I'm getting, and everything is about perspective. And if you watch the news,
yeah, you don't have to do that, by the way.
If you watch the news, they take these clips of things that happen and create a narrative around it, and for whatever their agenda is. And we all kind of do it. We don't even realize we're doing it. Like Steffi and I, my daughter's in the other room because one of them's in school, one of them's not. That's a rant for another day. But the three of us could be in the room, and somebody could walk in, behave a certain way, and walk out. And the three of us, based on our age, our experience, right, our perspective on things, we are going to have a different story that goes along with
Absolutely.
That, right? It's just the nature of our perspective, because at the end of the day, everything is coming from here. Our filter, everything is here. So when...
Yeti sighting.
Yeti sighting. There she is. So if we all realize that when the news or somebody's story is projected at us, that A, it's coming through that filter, and the way I'm seeing it in my experience is coming through this filter. What I choose. Do I choose to be angry? Do I choose to be compassionate? Do I choose to come at this with love? What am I choosing? What do I want to feel, right? And what I've noticed in this whole COVID experience is what I'm seeing. Again, this is what I'm seeing. It's coming through these filters, right? What I'm seeing is people are receiving the COVID based on where they are and how they perceive the world. I've said this in other videos. I do not discount the pain and suffering, Yeti saying, the pain and suffering that people are going through when they're experiencing this firsthand, whether they're in the medical profession or whether, they're witnessing somebody who's sick or lost somebody who's sick. I do not discount that at all. But I noticed that people who are angry just because they're supposed to be angry. I mean, I'm not really articulating this well, but there's this, I'm seeing a lot of, oh, here's another excuse to be angry. Here's another excuse to fight with this one. And here's another, and what I say is, maybe we should look within and say, well, why do we want to fight? Because I'll tell you, there's a lot to be angry at. There's a lot to be disgusted with. I just don't want to be angry. And I don't think that makes me irresponsible. And I just give you last night, my husband and I, we were in the process of selling our old house. And we were online with the notary, and we were doing whatever it was we were supposed to be doing. And there were glitches in the system, and there were things that we had to redo. And at one point, my name was spelled wrong. And there were just things that they could have been oversights on other people's part. And I was just like, all right, that's okay. So we'll redo the paperwork, and we'll change the spelling of my name. And St. Rob was all up in arms, right? And he was up in arms. And I get his gripe. His gripe was that if you're in this profession, if this is your job, you need to be competent, right? Because your incompetence
That's one perspective.
is now inconveniencing me. And so my perspective is, I agree with you. Yes, it is unfortunate, but I'm making a choice. What's the point of me getting mad?
My peace matters more.
Yeah, it harshes my mellow, man, right?
Yeah.
So
is it serving me?
And then he was frustrated with me because I wasn't sharing in his anger. And so, I mean, it wasn't as big as I'm making it. It was very subtle, but it was very interesting to me because I wasn't making what happened like okay with me. Like, no, I didn't like what happened. It was inconvenient. It took a little bit longer, but my peace is more important than anything. So now, again, that's my microcosm, but in the macrocosm, there's so much that's wrong with the world. I shouldn't say what's wrong with the world. There's so much in the world that is dense and that doesn't work for me. But my peace is the most important to help create change in the world. Because when I'm at peace, then my children are at peace. And when my children are at peace, anybody they come in contact with are at peace. And then those people are at peace and they tell two friends and so on. It becomes a Brecht commercial, right? And that's where it begins. It begins in the place of love versus fear. And there is the spectrum of love. We're going to ignore that because that's another political ad campaign calling to try to sway me in their direction. So I just ignore it. So love versus fear. And people, I could see people hearing this and going, but what is love and fear? What does it have to do with this? Because if you look at the spectrum, everything is a spectrum, right? If you look at the spectrum and you have pure unconditional love over here and you have full on, I'm scared, I'm hiding in a closet with a knife fear. But there is, with the love, you can't see my hand. There it is. With the love, there's joy, there's contentment, there's peace, there's all of those. And in the fear, there's anger, there's frustration, there's anxiety. It's all on the spectrum. So when I say it's love versus fear, and the response is, no, how could there just be two camps? Well, there's a spectrum of these camps. So when Donald Trump says something, that really should be the end of that sentence, but when Donald Trump says something that causes you to want to, punch the TV or do whatever, you have to stop and ask yourself, what is this about me that's eliciting fear? Or if you see a kitten rolling around in the dirt and you're all, what is that in me that I can connect with that? It's all here. It's all here. So I'm starting to now go off on a little bit of a tangent. In conclusion, because I know you like to see me move my hands a lot, but in conclusion.
Are you Italian? Just a little.
Everything is filtered through this. And everything that you're receiving is coming through whatever filter that you're receiving it. So you have to ask yourself, what is the agenda there? And what am I being triggered here? And how do I process all this? And when we take responsibility for how we're responding to things, I think it's easier to reconcile what's going on in the world.
Absolutely.
Right? Do you have anything?
For sure, I do. Three things. My favorite mantra is, there's no such thing as the whole wide world. There's the 6-inch space between your ears where the whole wide world happens. Everything you know, see, think, love, fear, hate starts here. So the Wahoo Jing, I've been a longtime student of Lao Tzu's work, both the Tao Te Ching and the Wahoo Jing. I read on a daily basis for almost 20 years. The Wahoo Jing specifically says, the greatest gift you have to give to the world is your own transformation. The greatest gift you have to give to the world. Everything's perfect except me. That's how I translate that into Stephiism. Everything's perfect except me. So if I'm being triggered, it's not the trigger. That's a mirror. What am I seeing in myself that works or doesn't? And the beautiful thing about COVID is my dear friend Dominic, whom you know and love, we all know and love Dominic. Dominic said the beauty of COVID is it's unlike a nuclear holocaust. It's unlike a natural disaster where a swath of the population is affected in a way regardless of where that population is individually. COVID affects people where they are. If you're an angry person, COVID made you angrier. If
like tequila.
If you're afraid,
COVID is like tequila.
If you're a frightened person, COVID made you more scared. If you're a loving person, COVID it's made me more compassionate for sure. It's made me more willing to look. I don't need to wear a mask. We're sitting here without masks. I don't need a mask. I know how I feed my body. I know how I take care of my body. I understand my immune system. I make sure every day I am careful. I know if I've had it, it's been asymptomatic. If I get it, I'm going to be asymptomatic. I know this because I know me. It's made me more compassionate to put on a mask for that person who is afraid.
When I go in public, I'll wear
I don't need a mask,
but
but I'm not going to break somebody's arm. I'm not going to go to fisticuffs because you want me to put on a mask. Yeah, I woke up in a free country this morning too, but I also love my neighbor, and for their sake, if my talk, if my spittle, if my aerosol is part of how COVID is spread, I want to cover that up. Even if not for me, I want to do that for my brothers and sisters. But if you don't feel that way, if you can articulate in a sane, sensible way that is inclusive of your involvement in a society, in a familial connection with the other humans on the planet, I'm more than willing to listen to you. I'm more than happy to hear your side of the story. And that's what's been lost. We have to realize we've been this divided in our country before. Believe me, we went through a civil war. We overturned slavery. We turned it into other things. I am going to say that. But the point is, we've been divided before. It is magnified because of the internet, the 24-hour news cycle, and social media. So I avoid news. I avoid social media. And I, to the best of my ability, avoid the internet, except to see if the earth is on fire, or I look at headlines, and even most of the time I'm sorry that I did that. But you have permission to not watch the news. You have permission to love your neighbor. You have permission to wear a mask in a free country, even if you think your rights are being violated, because covering your mouth for the sake of your family is a loving thing to do. But if you choose not to do that, it's okay too. I still love you. So this is what we need. We need this reconnection in our heart. We need this reconnection in our mind. We need this reconnection. I need it personally. I'm a single person. I can't spend weeks at a time alone in my home. I just can't do that. It's not conducive to my good mental health. So Panera is my new best friend. Fortunately, my friends and my soul family, we all see this similarly, so we're not afraid to see one another, sit together, hug, kiss, whatever we need to do. So I'm grateful for that. But if you're there, if you're if you are waiting for somebody to give you permission to come out of the dark hole, we've all been put in. Yeah. Here's some permission. Yeah. Be careful, but go be with people.
Just have common sense and be respectful of one another.
Yeah. Come out of your corner. Come off your bandwagon. Let's climb down off our high horses and meet in the middle, because that's where the love is.
Balance, man.
That's where the healing is. Balance.
It's
in the middle.
A couple weekends ago we were together. You were talking, and I was always like, "It's balance, dude. It's balance."
She pulled a Spicoli on me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was all Mr. Hand. It's balance.
So that's really all I have to say.
And as usual, we've deteriorated. So I think that we can put a stop to this.
We love you guys. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you for paying attention or not. However that works out. And we'll see you when we see you again.